Hello and welcome to Great Expectations. I'm your host Grade, and today I want to talk about the king of the modern era, Ultimate Fallout 4. So Ultimate Fallout 4 is a comic that was released in the summer of 2011, and it involved an Ultimate Comic storyline where Spider-Man is killed by the Green Goblin, and Ultimate Fallout is a 6-part miniseries that deals with the fallout of that death. Ultimate Fallout 4 is the introduction of the new Latino Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and has obviously had a lot of buzz in the comic industry, at least in the last couple of years after Into the Spider-Verse was released. So I think that this is a huge modern key, and I've basically never spoken to someone that didn't agree that Ultimate Fallout 4 is the ultimate grail for modern collectors, other than all the variants and that kind of thing. So let's talk a little bit about that book. So first of all, Ultimate Fallout 4 has a print run of 65,000, which I would suggest is pretty low considering the key factor of this book. It did have a second printing, and it was a low second printing. On the CGC census, there are a total of 10,700 graded copies of Ultimate Fallout 4, and just under 3,000 9/8s and just over 3,000 9/6s, which is obviously very high, but given that it's a modern comic and it's just turning 10 years old right now, we can expect that there'd be a lot of good grades on this book. So certainly, when you're looking at Ultimate Fallout 4, it's important to get a high grade one, just because of the sheer number of them. Now, having 10,700 comics graded at a 65,000, I think is pretty epic. And you got to figure with CGC's backlog right now, there's probably a bunch more sitting there waiting to be graded. So this is definitely a book that you are seeing graded quite a bit. As you can see, Ultimate Fallout 4, I have two copies right now. I have a 9/6 that's signed by Sarah Pichelli, and I have a 9/2. I thought the 9/2 was going to be a 9/8, and I submitted it to CGC, and they decided that it was a 9/2 due to some color rub on the back, I assume. And I was pretty disappointed. I'll probably end up selling that one, and Ultimate Fallout 4 is a comic that I have been buying pretty regularly in the last year, and I've recommended it in previous videos. I've said if you can pick it up for $400, even $500, has definitely been a flip. This is a comic where you can flip it easily. It's a pretty liquid comic, and basically, I've had success buying them. If I don't think that it's like a 9/6, 9/8 candidate, I've put it on eBay, and people have been, I would suggest, gambling on them, and paying a premium just for the raw copies. So this is a comic that I do buy in the wild. I like to buy it for about 400 US. Maybe a little less right now. And so let's talk about the price. So a 9/8 of this comic back, in the peak of the boom in May, was about 3,000 US. Right now you can buy a 9/8 for about $2,600. So it really hasn't dropped that much, despite there being 3,000 copies, like 9/8 copies. And I would suggest there is just a huge demand for this character, and it's kind of a sure thing that this is a big comic. The 9/6, on the other hand, has gone from the peak of $1,200, and it's dropped down to $800. So that's a 33% drop, and you can I've seen a few go for $700 right now. So the graded copies at a 9/6, I believe, are undervalued, or the 9/8s are overvalued. So generally, when I look at a comic and there's a ready supply of 9/8s and 9/6s, I generally believe that a 9/6 should be about half the price of a 9/8. and I think that's pretty well established. And a 9.6 being $800 right now, and a 9.8 being $2,600, like is more than 3 times. So I believe that the 9.6s are a little undervalued, or the 9.8 is overvalued. And this is a comic that I think I'm going to continue to be purchasing. And I've actually just purchased a set of Ultimate Fallout today. And I was very happy to find it. I look on the, like the social media, Kijiji, Craigslist, that kind of stuff, Facebook Marketplace. And once in a while something will pop up and like you want to be able to jump on it. And I would say with these social media sites, it is very important when you're dealing with sellers to be very polite and very transparent. And the other thing I would suggest is to be quick. So you want to be the first person that responds to the ad, and you want to be the first person actually there, to meet the person to buy the comic or sets of comics. And I've had a couple times where, I've been quick to respond, and the buyer has told me on a hot comic, there are a lot of people asking me to buy this comic or not to sell to you, but you were first, and you're available, so I'm going to sell it to you. And so that happened to me when I bought my copy of Hulk 180. I've already sold that one, but I bought it raw. The guy thought it was a 7, and I just made an offer, and he said I tied for the highest offer, a 3-way tie, and was going to sell to me because I was the first person to actually buy it, or to respond. And a similar thing has happened today. So last night somebody posted Ultimate Fallout 4, as well as the Ultimate Fallout 1-6, and I jumped on it within an hour of it being posted. And after talking to the guy, I decided that I wanted to, he posted it in the evening, so I basically decided to drop what I was doing and go pick it up today, and it has turned out to be a really good call. So let's go through it. So Ultimate Fallout number 1 is, cool cover. Ultimate Fallout number 2. I'm going through quick, but really we only care about Ultimate Fallout 4. Ultimate Fallout number 3. With Ultimate Fallout 4, you can see I have a copy here. So you can tell it's the first print of Ultimate Fallout 4 because you can't see Miles Morales' face. In the second print, there's 2 different ones. One is like a white headshot, and it's done by Sarah Pichelli, and the other one is this cover, only you can see Miles Morales' face. I honestly don't love the second print. There are some people I've been watching YouTube with non-comic people that somehow collect comics, and they seem to like the second print just because you can see Miles Morales' face. But I personally, think first appearance is generally, unless they're not on the cover, and then the second print they're on the cover, with Null, for instance. I tend to want to get the first print. So with this collection, number 5, and then number 6 is going to be just a little bit different than you might be used to seeing. So you can see here it says number 6, and then above where it says issue, it actually says variant. And for each of the Ultimate Fallout comics, there is a 1 in 25 variant. And I rarely see any of the 1 in 25 variants. I don't think any of them are really worth anything except for Ultimate Fallout 4. But with Ultimate Fallout 4, if you can find that variant, you're just golden. I'm going to butcher the guy's name, but they're all done by Dejurvic, I think, and they're all connecting for the 1 to 6 for the variant covers. And with this collection, I bought Ultimate Fallout 1 to 6, including that variant, for $800 US. You know, converted to Canadian dollars because I'm in Canada. But the key is, the Ultimate Fallout 4 is not the regular version. The Ultimate Fallout 4 that he had in his collection is the 1 in 25. And this, I think, is the modern Grail comic, you know, like for readily available comics. And everybody believes Miles Morales is a big deal. You never talk to someone and they're like, nah, Miles is going to go away in a couple years. Everyone says he's only going to get bigger. Once he gets to live action, he's going to be huge. And I hear this generation Spider-Man quite a bit. And if you ask my son, he knows Miles Morales, he knows Peter Parker, and he thinks Miles Morales is the young Spider-Man. But with this comic, I have never, ever seen Ultimate Fallout 4, the variant cover, for sale anywhere other than eBay. And eBay, they are all graded and they are very, very expensive. So I was shocked to find one in the wild, and I'm super happy that I have gotten this one. I am going to get it pressed by Mr. Kendra and then graded, and you know, like we'll see what we do with it after that. I'm not in for a lot of money, which is amazing, but at the same time, I never actually thought I would own this comic without paying a fortune. And now I do own it. So what do? Do I hold on to it for 10 years? Do I hold on to it forever? It's, you know, like a very rare modern key, and I'm just happy to have one. So I don't know what I'll do. We'll get it graded, see what happens. You know, like looking at it, it's a pretty clean copy. It does need a press, and you know, like we'll see what kind of grade CGC gives me. You know, if it's a higher grade, like a 9.4 or 9.6, that's a lot of money to put into one comic, and we'll see what I do with it, because you know, like certainly there are older keys that I value quite highly, and certainly the whole point of this channel is to kind of trade my way up and sell my way up to an X-Men 1, like in a mid-grade, which is certainly a lot of money. But, you know, this character is just kind of like a freight train to me, and is going to keep going up and up, and the 1 in 25 is real hard to find, and I don't think people are selling. I think at this point, unless you want to pay a lot of money, the collectors have these copies in their collection and they're just not going to sell. And so that's why the price is going to continue to increase. So I'm super happy I've got one. There is also, if there's an Italian version of this, where the Italian Ultimate Fallout 3 has this this picture on it, the Djurbeck version. And so watch out for that. This is actually the English one. And I would just, you know, more or less keep your eyes peeled for Ultimate Fallout 4 comics. Again, I'm buying any Ultimate Fallout 4 first print raw. If I don't like the condition and I don't think it's gradable, then I'm going to go ahead and sell it raw. And I've been making, you know, like pretty good money when I have done that. And you know, if you grade it and you get a high grade, certainly it's worth a lot of money. And you know, it's just to me a can't miss. And I've talked about, you know, like Kamala Khan and Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. Miles Morales is in, you know, like he's at the top by himself by a mile. And so this is just, you know, the Hulk 181 of the modern era. You know, like, and I'm happy I know about it, and I feel like, you know, like it seems like it's gone up a lot, but I do feel like it's got legs and it's going to continue to rise. And I feel like this, in a couple of years, you're going to be laughing at the price. Maybe not a couple of years, but say 5 years, 10 years, the price is just going to increase exponentially. And really anything Miles, I'm happy to buy. Certainly I've got a couple of his HeroCon Secret Wars homage. One's triple signed, one's quadruple signed. Super happy to have those as well. I think those are going to go up. And, really, it's very hard to buy the older comics. Like the Silver Age comics aren't coming up that often anymore. When they do, I find that they're very overpriced, and like people just want, the sky and the moon for them. But the moderns are still available. Certainly grade is very important when you're dealing with modern comics, and I don't mind playing in the modern playground and flipping and buying and looking. And once in a while, when you're doing that, you can strike gold. So I just wanted to show off my latest Ultimate Fallout 4. I'm going to continue to buy this comic, and I would imagine at some point I'll have a stack of them. But in the meantime, comics is very ebb and flow. When there's a lot of news about a property, the price is going up and the demand is through the roof. Ultimate Fallout showed us this twice in the last year. Showed us this back around September, October, when people were surprised with the price going up, and then it dipped, and then again people jumped on Ultimate Fallout 4 and the price went through the roof. And I feel like we're in another dip with this comic. So it is a time to consider if this is a character you believe in, that you like, that you want to buy in at. Now's the time to be buying Ultimate Fallout 4. Certainly the 9.6. I don't know about the 9. Really, I think you're just going to have to bite the bullet on the 9.8 and pay full price. But definitely the 9.6 is a good play area to buy low, sell high. If you can sit on it a few months, because there's inevitably going to be more talk, more demand for this comic. So anyway, that's it for Great Expectations. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.